Polite Society has all the workings of a sleeper hit thanks to its blend of action, comedy, and an injection of culture that helps make it stand out from all the rest. To summarize the film, Rhea has aspirations rather, to become a stunt woman and has long hitched the idea that if her older sister Lena can become an artist, she can also follow her dreams and become anything she wants to be. However, with Lena losing faith in herself, dropping out of art school, and kind of being stagnant, this is worrisome for Rhea, especially as Rhea and Lena's mother, Fatima, working with a woman named Raela, they arrange a marriage for Lena with a man named Salim. Lena takes to this a little bit too much for Rhea, and as it seems that Lena's going to fully commit to Salim, she has to start potentially accepting that if Lena can give up on her dreams and end up on this road, that may mean the same for her. So she fights as hard as she can to potentially ruin that relationship. And in the process of doing so, she discovers something very nefarious is going on. So as for why Polite Society is rated PG-13, it's due to cursing throughout, though not gratuitously. Violence-wise, there are multiple fight scenes which lead to blood, small cuts and bruises. Sexual content-wise, while there's no sex on scene, there are a few, maybe less than 1 or 2 minute scenes where you'll see the bare asses of men. And outside of that, there's drinking, smoking, and also someone gets drugged. Multiple times. So, in terms of highlights, first and foremost is Raela, who I hope I'm saying her name right of. And I want to say, as shown in the clips and also trailers, Raela's a scene stealer. Whether she is this regal, pretentious, local mothers group leader, or this demented villain with a wicked laugh and fighting skills beyond Rhea, similar to another name I may kind of butcher, Manisha Koirala in India Sweets and Spices. While you can understand that the younger ladies might get the most screen time and be used for the marketing more prominently, all of that work kind of doesn't mean much without Raela's actress Nimra Busha to play off of. With that said, the action and comedy that we get from Rhea, Lena, and Fatima's dynamic is what makes the movie last. I mean, not make the movie last, but it's one of the main hooks when it comes to the film. For the best parts that don't include Raela, are when Rhea and Lena are interacting, and sometimes when Fatima joins in. For whether it's Fatima's pseudo support of her girls, as long as it brings us social clout or else pride, or when Rhea and Lena are each other's best friends until Lena decides to pursue a different route. Watching these three interact is such a beautiful thing to see, especially since the combination of mother-daughter or even sisterhood rarely gets seen in such a way like this that has heart, comedy, and sometimes violence without you getting a sense that it's in pursuit of accolades or it kind of coming off corny like in a Lifetime movie way. With the note of violence, I have to say, Polite Society, as a highlight, exists sorta in this old school Adam West Batman vibes with modern accoutrements like blood, gashes, and a sun flare. Now, the reason why I bring up the Adam West Batman is because when it comes to Rhea's fight scenes, sometimes they kind of feel like they exist in a fantasy. And granted, you understand that she wants to be a stunt woman and this is supposed to be you seeing the kind of stunt she can do, but there's a little corniness in there that kind of makes you think that eventually you're going to see the words pow or bam pop up on the screen, yet that never happens. With that said though, there is always this vibe that you're watching a fantasy that in reality maybe Rhea's having a battle of wits with her sister or somebody else, yet she kind of escalates it in her mind so that now it's a real-time fight scene. And that kind of benefits the movie, for it makes it go a little bit faster and it keeps you very much engaged as you see, for the most part, Rhea get her ass whooped, but the way she gets her ass whooped is always consistently entertaining. Especially this one scene when Lena and Rhea are fighting, because Ria's trying to sabotage Lena's relationship. And when you see Lena kick Ria through the door, bust her head, and glass hits the ground, it really pushes you to really think about, is this real? Is this not? And sometimes just the absurdity of the moment and the laughs it gets out of you is what keeps you so in tune of what's going on and even invested. The last highlight when it comes to this film is that Polite Society doesn't just touch upon Lena, Ria, Fatima, and Raela being Pakistani Muslim women. It also very much brings their culture in, and it's not just a taste of it so you can tell that these people are different, but it really tries to embrace all the different meanings to it. Whether it is the complications that Ria has regarding arranged marriage because she is maybe first or second generation immigrant to somewhere in England. So of course she has this kind of negative opinion of it versus, seeing Fatima, she's somebody who, unlike Raela, doesn't really come from money. Yet you can see that she wants this sense of community. So even if the other ladies talk down to her and also talk down about her daughters, at the same time, she kind of latches on to what they can give us so that she can remain connected to her culture and people. It's, in some ways, you can see there's some level of complication that is brought in so that you understand that none of this is easy for them, yet at the same time, it doesn't go deep and dark and doesn't really get into the pain involved with being potentially othered in society. Pretty much, while we do have Black characters, white characters in Polite Society, it mainly focuses on what Ria's going through, what Lena's going through, Fatima, and also what Raela and Salim are going through. And in doing so, yes, in many ways you have a basic premise, but it is, I think the best way to put it is that almost every culture has a different way that it makes chicken, beef, duck, whatever, but it's the spices, it's the seasoning, it's the way or the type of oven that they use, and that's what gives it flavor. And when it comes to Polite Society, it infuses all that into the film so that even if it's just moments of watching Ria fight within traditional garments for when it comes to Lena's wedding, and you see how it moves around and everything, it's just dazzling in a way that even if you're not Pakistani or Muslim, you can see and even want to kind of research a little bit the different aspects that come about in the film so that you can understand it better and appreciate it more. Overall, Polite Society, I would think, is the kind of movie you expect to come out after Crazy Rich Asians, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and those type of movies where, because they are hits, you think something's going to change in the industry. And I think Polite Society is the sign that things are changing, because by no means is this the type of film that's trying to get an Academy Award or BAFTA, whatever. This is a movie made to entertain you, and of course to make some money off of you being entertained. And that's what we truly like about it. It's not trying to get too heavy into what the immigrant experience is. It's not trying to get heavy or critical when it comes to Pakistani or Muslim culture. It touches upon that because it wants you to understand these aren't just plain generic characters. There's culture behind them, but it doesn't want to dive deep into potential wounds and explore them. It's supposed to be a fun watch. It's supposed to make money. It's supposed to make it so between sequels or else just having these actors or / a director rather getting more productions done. That's the main purpose. It's to continue to expand, present diversity, and not make it so that in order for you to see non-white characters in these roles, they have to pretty much do away with what makes them unique in order to get on screen.